And gentlemen, to the EU qualifiers, we're going to be taking a look at our second game of our fourth series of today. It is going to be BlinkPool facing off against Team Kinguin. I'm Lyrical, joined as well by Purge. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. We're going to see the game follow up and hopefully something that has more kills, more roaming, more ganking. It felt like BlinkPool just super outmatched Kinguin in the first game of the series. And I hope we get a game 3. I think it'd be good to see. But the first pick is a bit surprising. I think Lich is potentially a good hero. I do not think Lich is a first pick hero.
Yeah. And as far as what we wanted to see, like fights breaking out and things like that, he doesn't strike me as that type of a hero either.
He's kind of anti-fight, I guess, by denying range creeps and pulling the creep wave back. But now they're like, oh, Jake, hey guys, you thought we weren't fighting. We are fighting.
What the hell is this draft?
Dead heroes only.
What is going on?
They have to be dead.
Dead heroes are...
Who's next? Who's our other dead heroes? Dude, my headset is actually so tangled. I'm gonna unmute. I'm gonna
Go
mute
for
and
it.
then
Do it. I'm going to keep talking about dead heroes. Wraith King, that feels like a dead hero, in more ways than one. Also, I think that there's some help for the skeletons a little bit later on there. But man, I gotta say, for as much as we talk about wanting to fight and then them picking Undying, I think that this is like a pretty bad support combo.
who says that's a support Lich
That's true.
or an Lich or an Undying support? All right, Undying 5 is the way to play the hero right now. But in my pub games,
Yeah.
I like playing Undying offlane.
Okay.
And I get a Meteor Hammer. I don't think it's good. I don't know. The Lich is like so confusing to me that I feel like they're like, guys, let's do our best, and then they pick weird shit.
I'm
That's
kind
what
of
it feels
wondering. Like, it seems like it's so out of left field, not only from
is.
like of what we've been seeing in this qualifier, but even what we've been seeing from Kinguin.
This is like no matter what happens, we're going to win our lane pick. And
Yeah.
picking it first is it has positives in that their opponents are going to be confused, probably angry, and most likely annoyed that they have to play against it. But like wherever they put it, it will deny levels and farm, and it should be able to harass a little bit. It got some talent buffs. I think Lich's 15 talent got buffed. I don't think his level 1 did. Might be wrong on that, but and now Morphling can turn into Lich and cast Sacrifice. How are you going to win now? It's all over, dude.
I mean, he also can turn into Undying and drop Tombstones.
That one is better. Although one strat against that is to just not get much Tombstone. You can go like I did that once. I went like 2-2-1 or something, and then I maxed. I don't know if I maxed Decay fast that game or something. I did something like that, and he did turn into me. And then he's like, "Oh, you put the Tombstone down," and I was like, "Whack, whack, whack, done."
You know what else you could do? You
What?
could just take no points in anything, and then they can't steal it at all.
It's a common strategy. It's been done. Yeah.
I like it.
It's worse now than it used to be.
Okay.
Before you could at least skill stats for every other level, but now, nope, that one's not so good.
Mm. Well, it hurts. I gotta say, I really like BlinkPool's draft. They have 3 of the heroes that I think at various points in these qualifiers have been first phase banned, and I think none of the heroes that are on Kinguin's team have been first phase banned. Undying has occasionally been second phase banned. That usually means that they're good heroes in my book.
I just don't know what to make of it when they open Lich. It's just so weird. It's like, does anything else matter, guys? I don't know. They've got some. I'm just being flabbergasted, and I'm also being too critical on them because they disappointed me in the last game. But
I can feel it.
yes, so can I, and I should probably pull back a little bit. They
No,
still
no,
go for
I'm saying
Nature's
that,
Prophet.
like,
But
I can understand it too, because I think that this is a team that they're in the director invites to the qualifiers. They're a team that I think everybody wanted to do well because they're that perfect emblematic example of a team that sticks together even when things don't go right. But then they come up here and things look rough, and then it sort of goes wrong. It's sort of hard not to feel that way.
yeah, it's just disappointing. They do still get Prophet though, and maybe they just want to make sure they win all their lanes. Which is worth doing. Maybe the Medusa pick was where they went a little bit wrong. Maybe the Shadow Demon was. In some ways, you could look at the lineup kind of similar. But they have 3 heroes right now that just are lane winners. Lich wins lanes, Undying wins lanes, Prophet wins lanes, and Prophet can move around getting kills. Hypothetically, they could maybe they feel like we're not going to beat them in the late game, so we just need to outplay the crap out of them in the lanes and then set the tempo. Maybe they felt like they couldn't do that enough with Prophet in the previous match. But they also have to deal with Morphling. There's no melee heroes to combo with Magnus. I assume it'll just be Morph, but it's still decent. In fact, this is It's a good looking Morphin game. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of low armor heroes that he can jump on that can't easily disable him. Fast Orchid could be useful, but past that, I think Morphling's happy here.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. The Doom, to be honest, it does feel like in some ways it's a counter to Morphling, but not so much since a very nice build-up for Morphling is Lincoln's anyways, so you kind of need like a Shadow Blade for initiation and another item to break Lincoln's.
Yeah, or Lincoln's, or a Blink, I was going to say on Doom. He can grab a creep. The Troll and Snare creeps work fine. I think the Dispel creep would be really good this game, actually, just because he could use it both on Morphling to break Lincoln's, and he could also use it to break Windrun. That would be kind of good. And if Morphling ever turns into Lich and Ice Armors himself, boom, Dispel that too.
Yeah.
But I think it's 4 lane winners right now. It's very obvious. Kinguin has all heroes that are good in the lanes. I don't know if Doom's necessarily good against Morphling, I guess. 'Cause I feel like Morphling will just kind of outkite you consistently and deal a lot of physical damage. And Witch Doctor with that is kind of scary. But I assume it's going to be, maybe they'll just go, I mean, they've got 3 dead heroes right now, by the way. I don't know if Doom is dead. Do you think Doom's dead? I can see his bone teeth or whatever.
Yeah, he looks like it. He's a demon, so he's at least been in hell.
It's true. Prophet's, he's like, who the hell are these guys, dude? Who put me on this team? I want to be on the other team. The team looks way better.
He's standing
Way
behind
better for him. Yeah.
They're spooky. Yeah, I think that this Prophet needs to make a lot happen too. And between the 3 first picks, there's no stuns. Doom has one with Inferno Blade, but
that's okay. You don't need stuns that bad. I'm worried for the lack of stuns because of heroes like Windranger, who are going to run away from you. For Morphling, who will morph and/or waveform, and Magnus will be able to skewer RP dudes, and it's going to be hard to stop. But on paper, the general tankiness and survivability of Kinguin is impressive.
Okay.
But they've got to turn these lane wins into last hitting advantage, and then turn that into tower rotations and efficiency, and then map pressure. Like Doom is at least good in that way. Like he's a lane winner that gets into the mid game, and then he's very good at ganking. If you do go something like Shadow Blade, so hypothetically like a Doom with SB with a Prophet ganking with Orchid is really good, actually. They ban on an OD, a hero that's good against Morphling that can save other heroes at matches up well, I guess, against a Windranger is maybe what they're thinking.
Yeah, I like that. I think the save might be a big part of it too, considering that they're going to be going for like the single target shotgun, I would imagine, out of Morphling. Although they don't necessarily have to either.
Could save against people that get RP'd or shackled or maledicted or whatever. It's not bad.
Maybe it also has to do with the mid matchup they're thinking about going. They ban out the Brood.
It's got a... Oh, that was Kinguin banning. I was going to say it was the other way. Who doesn't ban Brood against Kinguin? No. But we're looking at our mid hero for Kinguin here. So it will be counterpicked, potentially. Hero that does well against Morphling Ember Spirit is in the game. I feel like Ember could be sort of okay.
Yeah.
Dive and pressure. He'll have Ice Armor, Undying to back him up. Something like that sounds good to me. I'm not very familiar with Nisha's hero pool. I know most of the time they put him on tanky dudes.
Yeah, he's played some Pugna, Medusa, obviously. I don't know if you want to go back for the Medusa right now.
Kind of like Pugna. I think Pugna sounds good.
He did play Windranger in the past a lot. He likes to play on like flashy heroes, I think.
They definitely have carry potential issues if they go something like Pugna, but this is a better version of Pugna, I think. It's like a little bit more carry potential, but it also does help them set tempo. This is a draft that looks good to me for Kinguin. The Lich really threw me off there. Felt like they're giving it up, but it also doesn't show that much. And like things got real. Like the first 3 picks look kind of weird, and then 4th and 5th start to make a lot more sense. They've got a Silence on Death Prophet. He can pressure towers. If he can stay alive and doesn't get bursted down, the hero is very strong. Does have to worry about Maledict, but they've got Undying heals. They've got Lich armor to make that all last a bit longer. I think the Death Prophet pick is solid here. Just got to worry about whatever his matchup is.
We'll see what that is. I don't know if there's any matchup that just like destroys Prophet, but they take the Ember. I feel like BlinkPool got like all the best heroes in Dota right now.
It does kind of look like that, doesn't it? There's a lot of first round or second round bans in it. Shout out to Patos for actually having the Doom Immortal.
Hey.
Creepy evil hand looks backwards or something, but it's just like Somebody messed up. Satan's not as good at designing humans or whatever.
It does
monsters.
kind of look like he's like twisted his arm or something, right?
Yeah, it does.
Like that should be his right hand, maybe.
It looks like a robot claw. You know, like the 3-fingered robot claw that touches in the middle. That's what it looks like.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you go and you drop it down to get stuff out of.
Yeah, like a claw
prize
machine.
bin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like that. It's like each finger's perfectly spaced and it's symmetrical all the way around in a really creepy way.
And there's fire coming out of it.
Yes, and he like sucks things into it. It's like a vacuum. It's like some anime shit.
I like
That's
it.
how it works. Ember Spirit mid against Death Prophet is probably fine. It should be able to lane fine. Death Prophet's offensive power is not so uncontrollable or ridiculous that it should be one-sided. They also could put Morphling mid maybe, but it's probably going to be Morphling safe, Ember mid. And curious where the Lich goes.
Yeah.
Probably Lich versus the Morphling is the safest play. And then put Undyne versus Magnus +1, I guess.
Okay. I mean, Lich Doom is a classic offlane comparison too. If they wanted to do that, and then, you know, try and get pressure onto the offlaner, I think that there's a lot of different possibilities that they can run for.
They did pick 4 dead heroes, by the way, more or less.
Nice.
Death Prophet running. That was the one I was thinking of when I was untangling my headset, but
Got it.
didn't want to scream it out.
Let me make sure that I have everything looking right. I think, because I'm doing production now. Last time I was
That's
on,
harder.
That's good. You're doing it. I think. Unless, oh no, I don't have that one thing enabled.
Did you do a voice record?
Yes, I do.
What thing enabled?
The drag button. Whenever you switch over, it always happens. I'll take care of it. Doing options. Not edge pan. God dang it. Where is it? It's like the one where you hold down the middle mouse button, you know?
Well, I'm gonna look as well. That way I can maybe help you.
Okay, thank you.
What
is it? Reverse camera grip. That's the one.
is it? That's just no, that's not it. That means that when you do the grip, it'll be backwards.
Oh.
Is what that means.
Okay. What is the one then? You know, I can probably get through it even without the overlay thing.
But go to hotkeys
Hotkeys.
and then to the right camera grip. No, go back. Right. Oh no.
What have I
You
done?
didn't reset anything, right? Cancel. Okay, on the right side of the screen, there's camera grip. Is that it? Is that your hotkey?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so does it work?
Smooth drag. That's what the one is that I want. Do
Did
you
you
see a
find it?
smooth drag? I don't see smooth drag.
I gotta remember where that one is. We'll cast the game eventually, guys. We promise.
We'll get there. Why don't you just talk about it, and then we'll imagine what's going on. Does that sound good?
Okay, all right. Oh, I found it. Options, go to advanced, and center middle. Right there. It's right there. Smooth.
Why wasn't it on?
Wait, no, that was on. You just turned it off.
Yeah, but now it's not. Oh,
All right, there's
Jesus.
there might be a bind or something, or like something in console that's messing it up. Let's talk about the Dota game. So
That
it is
sounds great.
it is a Morphling and a Witch Doctor versus a Doom Undyne Lich Triling. He actually got Frost Blast level 1.
What?
Okay, 125 damage was just dealt to Morphling. There's a 7-second cooldown on this nuke, dude. It is on. Get outlaned. This Morph has 250 health right now, dude. He's blasting him. He's completely out of mana, though. He has literally no Clarity Potion, and now it's flying out. 2 mangoes and a Clarity. I am awfully confused. Morphling is full health right now, and it costs a maximum 2 tangos. Was this truly worth it, Lich? You got your blasts, but it did nothing.
I don't really understand.
At least he should have waited for Undyne to cast Decay like 2 more times before he double blasted, I feel like. But, I mean, the only reason he's healing so much is because he has so little health that it doesn't take much health to heal it back.
Yeah.
You have to, like, burst it, basically, if he's going to get misses the level death here. But it's hard if this was a different offlaner,
That's
this would
definitely
be
not level
better.
death, by the way.
Whatever.
Just had to say it. I had to say it.
Level death sword.
Okay, level death sword. I like it. That's an ability that we haven't. I feel like I missed it a little bit. It was a funky one.
They did do a good job denying the wave, so it is pushing at least.
Okay.
And this will give Lich a level 2, but the fact that it's been 2 minutes in and we've missed a couple of sacrifices, 2 sacrifices I guess, is a little bit tough. And the fact that he didn't walk to the lane with a Clarity Potion is sort of bizarre.
He has 6 tangos though.
I mean, he needs to harass him. He needs to harass Morphling now while Decay is on. Otherwise, all of this mana has been wasted.
Yeah, they really need to make sure that happens. And Katsor, again, going to be forced back, but...
Sox is just offsetting all of this with the heal.
Yeah.
On the mid lane, Kaiser, the Ember Spirits 14-3 versus Death Prophet 6-1. Losing. Not good. And the safe lane was a Nature's Prophet versus a Magnus 1v1. Prophet's at 12-5, Magnus 14-1. So basically we can go back to watching the tri-lane until somebody dies, I think is safe to say.
Hopefully I don't miss any. Madara just jumps away again. And, I mean, they are limiting his farm a little bit.
Did you see that magic wand press though? It like full healed him.
Yeah.
This is not working, I think. If this wasn't Morphling, this would be fine. Because the carry couldn't just adjust his health as needed. Because if he needs more health, he just morphs to more strength. But the problem is he's just literally abusing strength morph. It's working so well against Undyne. It's like this Undyne thing just doesn't work. Unless the carry, unless the Doom, the farming hero is getting more. I mean, on the bright side, he's only got 7 last hits. So I guess they are doing something. It's not fully futile. I'm overselling this a little bit, but the harass aspect of it feels not very effective. But at least he's almost out of regen.
Yeah, I guess the other side of it too is Exotic Deer is having a pretty good time in this safe lane up here.
That's not even true. He's actually losing 14-7 versus 21 last hits on Kezu. Kezu's doing better here.
But relative to the Morph lane, I should say.
I would say that's not a good thing though if you're aggro. I mean, they are try versus try. No, that's not even true. It's a 3v2.
Okay.
Misery's picked up level 3 somehow. I don't know what he's been doing all game. But he's level 3. Maybe he's just been offlane pulling this whole time. Maybe this is why. Exotic Deer's last hits. I definitely missed him when I did my look around the map.
Yeah, I guess that's basically what he's been up to. And maybe he can even rotate into that lane and start to make some stuff happen. It feels like a Wind Ranger rotation could potentially just kill off like 2 heroes if he gets level 4.
Well, they will be diving here. Probably drop a tomb. Yep, there's a tomb going down.
They run away yet again. Madara thinking about sticking around. They rotate in with Exotic Deer. Also, the power shot is there from Misery and Madara. Still living, but they do draw first blood. Okay. As they kill off the Witch Doctor. Now, Elisash, waveform 3, he didn't get his Frost Blast off. His mid-animation and couldn't seal the deal. Misery still taking the damage there as well, and he will fall as well.
Okay. Ultimately a pretty decent dive. The Undyne didn't end up going down. He misused his Soul Rip, so he had to leave a little bit earlier. But they didn't kill the Morphling. I'm sure they would have loved to do that. But Tomb got killed right away. Dive still goes okay. They get first blood. It's going all right.
Yeah.
This is level 3 here, so this nuke is huge. Here comes another one.
Ready to pressure onto him. It is still only 10 CS for the Morphling, as Exotic Deer is just living in this lane now, and Madara does get his TP ready to head out of this area.
Witch Doctor is so useless against Nature's Prophet here.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Magnus is going to be pulling creeps and pressuring the offlane, but everybody here, they're just getting super dived right now.
Yeah, and it does definitely hurt, but at the same time, like we've been talking about, it's Kezu who's farming up a double wave, the most farmed hero in the game right now, and also pressuring the tower. So like bringing all these heroes to do this, and they're still kind of not fully succeeding at it.
Yeah, in some ways they're only going even. Because they're getting some of these creeps, and Kezu's getting every single one of the creeps, and also guaranteeing himself some neutrals that he's pulling into.
Very unfortunate timing, and Kezu moves forward. He's level 6 now, so does have RP available if he wants to use it. And get out a good amount of harassment onto Exotic Deer. In mid lane, Nisha has a Hasterin, just now getting towards her boots. Behind the Ember, fairly substantially. 12 CS, roughly.
She's gap closed a little bit more, though. I was worried that it was going to be more out of control based on the first minute or so. And once she finishes the phase, a little bit easier to not get outplayed here. And on the bright side with this aggro tri-lane, it does force all of the effort to be in this lane, and not necessarily where the Death Prophet is. Shackle not going to latch here. And Doom's going to be able to stay alive.
Little off the mark there. He needed the Doom to walk a little further forward.
God, that damage. Morphling went from like full HP down to 20% once again.
So 7 minutes in, only a 1,000 gold lead, but it does feel like this is the lineup from Kinguin that needs to get more done as they manage to find the shackle latch onto 2. Not bad at all. They wave from forward. Patos is gone. And now they're also winning this lane on top of just dominating top.
It's a huge shackle there. He had just gotten his soul rip at that time, but either way, he could have maybe dropped Tombstone or something like that, turn that fight around. Doesn't happen. Doom's coming in, though. He's got a net ready. This could be a little scary for Morphling.
Takes a hit, but they won't go for any more.
What a cast.
Amazing.
Raindrop's getting a little low. Undyne's back to a 1 charge here. And they do also pick up Ice Armor, so now these engagements are a little bit harder. They're going to go for Witch Doctor. No stun for 3.
Still got his heal working and 5 stick charges available. The cask does go out, and Morphling decides he wants to go for it and kills off Lich. Target's very low HP, but they won't be able to find that kill. The shackle, the follow-up with Kaiser rotating in. That's Patos in trouble, as they are going to try and chase him down while Ember is looking for the second kill. So they take themselves 2 for misery.
Okay. Rotations continue. In the meantime, Nisha's just been blowing up mid. Used Exorcism shortly ago, and the tower is at about 40% health. So they are still getting some stuff done. Exotic Deer cleaning up last hits top. Also doing, I think they're doing an okay job here. Definitely forcing their opponents to start reacting heavily. And that took a lot of time and a lot of heroes to end up killing the Doom. And Doom's only level 4, so they're stopping this pressure kind of, but they're not actually killing high-leveled, high-farmed heroes. That comes down to either killing the Death Prophet or the Nature's Prophet. So I think this is actually working out all right for Kinguin.
Yeah, I do definitely feel what you're saying, that like at least the last couple of minutes have looked better. But I'm just sort of looking at like the support levels also, and everybody on the Dire is fairly under-leveled at this point, whereas like Misery, he's level 5, almost level 6, and he's getting phase boots already. So I feel like they need to sort of keep up that momentum that they've built up the last couple minutes.
You're definitely right on that. The Lich and the Undyne they need to get some experience from some high-level heroes, and the only people they're killing as well are these offlane guys. There's the big nuke. Madara reacting in time as the Wrath of Nature comes through again. Then here comes the dive. Tombstone goes down. They're going to catch the Witch Doctor at least.
He's caught there inside all the trees, and the Witch Doctor will drop, but Morphling just saying, I don't want to be here anymore. Let's get the hell out.
Witch Doctor actually feels so useless this game against Tombstone zombies. Like, I saw the casket two Tombstone zombies, and there's Treants, and he summons some skeletons, and instantly they just barrel over this tower. But that said, the other one's already gone. So Madara does switch to the off lane. He's going to be doing the same kind of thing, basically, but he's pressuring a tier 2 now. And that means that Kinguin's going to have to go back and try to protect against some stuff like this. So otherwise, they're still losing this trade. I guess it'll be Doom that tries to take control of this space.
Morphling taking no points in Morph as of yet, but does still have a point saved. And they are kind of rotating towards mid lane right now. 2 wards on Elisash. We'll see if they are able to possibly put the hurt to him. This tier 1 tower for Radiant is fairly low as well. And in the meantime, Exotic Deer just going to farm up these side camps as well. So
I think the Lich is actually like, it hasn't gotten a lot of kills. It's 2-2 and 2. It's doing okay. He hasn't been focused that much on the creep deny. They actually just picked it because of, I think just because of harass potential and the fact that you can use sacrifice just to get more mana pool.
Power shot
that
there.
Is a very likely dead hero. Shackle's going to buy some time. He should go down. He does.
Focus fire. They're coming in now with the Nature's Prophet, though. Power shot just to escape from the trees, and now the root manages to connect on the 2 heroes, in fact, of Kaiser.
Okay.
Be careful. Back out.
Just enough damage to break his flame guard, or at least it ran out. And looks scary for Lich. He's still maxing out Frost Blast, by the way. So definitely going to have some mana pool problems, not focusing on the laning, just the mana. It's going all right. I definitely was too strong with my words during the draft.
I mean, I think it's understandable. There's a reason that we haven't seen that many Liches at all, let alone first pick. Like, that's the thing that's crazy to me about it, right? Like, couldn't you have gotten away like with that last pick almost if you wanted?
The Lich last pick? Yes, but it's not about that. It's about that, like, I don't know. Maybe it's the I don't know if it's going to be the same for his opponents as the way that I saw it, but I saw it as a lane control hero, kind of boring. And instead he's like, I'm getting Frost Blast level 1. I'm messing you up. And he has hit 6 here. I assume that was tome-based, but it has been fitting a slightly different function than they necessarily expected. And it's not really a hero that you're going to think like, man, I can't wait to counter Lich. It isn't really done outside of like Chain Frost. Yeah. So ultimately, or thinking like, oh, I'm going to do physical damage or magic damage instead of physical. So it basically doesn't matter. It was just safe. They didn't necessarily give their opponents an opportunity to counter them. And now he's just going to go around doing a lot of damage.
Okay.
275 with Frost Blast, and he's got a Chain Frost too if needed for 300. But Wind Ranger hard counters them with Wind Run, and it's all over.
Yeah, just run away. The slow on Chain Frost has been buffed over and over and over again.
It is actually so good right now. 65% slow. And if you combo those with Tombstone, it makes Tombstone a lot better if you think about it. Okay. So I kind of like it. Their ward instantly gets dewarded here. Soxa moves up to drop a sentry.
Oh, that hurts.
But they're just kind of moving this tri-core around, or this tri-lane. Soxa and Undyne, I'm surprised you can smell him from there.
Hello.
Are they gonna? Okay, he does eventually react.
How are you doing today?
Level 2 slow up for the tomb, but he's probably gonna die.
And they do silence the Ember, but he just walks away.
Small hesitation on the Doom there, changes his mind, and now they're just gonna be run down probably.
Oh, the Shackle, it lands. They do have the Chain Frost, need to dodge away from it, and they're gonna be able to pull it, but the RP back in with the power shot on the 2. Is it gonna be enough damage? They have the cask bouncing, they take down another one.
When all's said and done, that was great for Kinguin. All they lost was Chain Frost, Tombstone, Prophet ulti. They didn't even use Doom. I thought that they'd at least waste a Doom, but no, none of that happened. So they got really lucky on the cast bounce, I think. It bounced to this Kobold Foreman. Brought into the jungle, it didn't keep bouncing on their heroes, and they didn't get any follow-up kills. So not all bad considering how scary that looked. And
I mean, it does
and an RP.
It does kind of feel, though, like, don't you need to be able to be making moves right now with Kinguin's draft, or do you think that it scales well against what BlinkPool has?
That was a move. The move was that their opponents overcommitted, used a lot of spells, and only a Lich died.
All right.
And this ulti got buffed a little bit. It's a 100-second cooldown now at level 1. It's not as bad as it used to be. So he's going to be ready to go in the next fight. And really, again, he's just a level 6 Lich. He's got boots. He's happy. He's over-farmed. He's going to do some defense mid just because his team's already top. Pop an Exorcism to try to commit to that tower. In the meantime, Doom wrapping around looking for an easy kill. Unfortunately, there's a ward spotting. He looks very dead.
They find Patos, and he is going to go down. Misho, with the Exorcism still going, going to move into this fight. The cask is not going to bounce to that target that they want because there's so many treants in the area.
Not the first time we've seen easy Wish Doctor kill. He does kill Lich in the mid lane. No, but Lich was rotating over, I see.
Yeah.
Spotted it with the ward and then went for the super easy kill with Arcane Ring.
Tombstone looking like it's going to maybe go down, although they get the silence now onto Wind Ranger. Still trying to run away from this one.
Get a Tango ready. Instantly gets out.
Little Scepter, but Exorcism is already down at Kezu. They miss the silence.
Yeah. It's a little hard to time.
Meanwhile, though, the Ember coming back in. That one's easy to time, and the Shackle lands as well onto this Undyne. He's dying as well.
Misery is owning with Shackles right now. Super easy. Level 4 in power as well in Wind Ranger. Like, the hero doesn't have a lot of damage base, but with phase and in power, it's like he has a permanent double damage. And all he has to do is sit around, keep landing these Shackle shots once in a while, and he keeps setting up these kills. So now things have gone a little bit rough for Kinguin. They missed all of their gimme kills, kind of. Their engagement was kind of rough. The Doom walked right into this without them having control over the tower ward, so he gets killed instantly, despite him being the one that thinks he's fishing. And he hasn't been able to really get a big item yet. He's trying to pick up a Vanguard first, but don't know if that will be enough. A lot of damage done mid to Soxa, but he'll stay alive too.
Okay. Well, 15 minutes in, 11-5, 3,000 gold lead. And right now, BlinkPool still looking in pretty good control of this game, although we have seen some solid play from Kinguin from time to time. And they're going to be making another move now. So they drop down a ward on the high ground and will run right by Madara. Looking for an opening as they spot out the two supports. Chain Frost bouncing back and forth. He's dead. But that's Chain Frost now down, and Kezu does have RP back up again. If they're not careful, this could be a big opening for them. The Eul Scepter there onto the Ember. Jump in, RP pushes back only onto one, but it's a big one to take down. Death Prophet dead. They did Doom the Undyne.
Oh no, that's a Morphling.
Okay, that's a big kill.
I was about to criticize them for using their ultis on things that don't matter, like Witch Doctors, but they got him.
Hey.
He didn't even get his own tomb down. Just turns over, instant doomed. Worst case scenario there for Morphling. Huge grab. So that ends up being pretty good for Kinguin. I think it was a great RP, pulled the Death Prophet back, get her killed, but ultimately not a bad engagement. Morphling's dead for a bit. Fight recap was about even. They did lose their tower as well, but I think if they're losing, that's all right. Maybe not because Doom's on cooldown for a long time, but they've also got Exorcism, so I don't know.
Morphling getting a little bit too big for his britches before that Lincoln Sphere.
He wasn't planning to be Undyne for very long. Turn into him, drop the tomb, turn back. Waveform away maybe. Would have done a lot, but Doom got the right target. If anything, it was just positioning, I think. That he just didn't respect getting doomed enough.
Yeah. And now they're going to move into Roshan as well. One of the nice parts about having this Exorcism and a Nature's Prophet to tank for you. Sash also on the low ground, ready to fight anybody that happens to come too close. So this is probably the biggest thing that's happened so far this game, I would say, for Kinguin, is actually getting one of these objectives.
And this was kind of a nice timing that lined up for Kinguin, basically. Like, after the last fight, Doom is on cooldown. You know you killed your opponent Morphling. They used RP. So it's like they don't have all their stuff, you don't have all their stuff, but they had Exorcism. So it was like they had the one tool that they kind of needed to take Roche easily, and then they just channel that into a fast Aegis. That's more gold advantage. That's going to make the next team fight easier. That means next time their opponents have RP, it's less scary. This is a nice little lineup for them and a good move. They didn't even use Undyne Ultimate to kill this faster, and they still killed it very rapidly. And now Lich getting some decent levels, level 9 now. 2 points in Sacrifice, 2 points in Ice Armor. So there's just going to be a lot of survivability generally on the Kinguin side. The one thing they're going to be missing is magic resistance, I guess. But between like Vanguard on Doom and Ice Armor on Death Prophet, and once she finishes her Aeon Disc, it's going to be a lot harder for BlinkPool to fight. And the game actually looks definitely within winning possibilities for Kinguin, but they are behind. So next couple of fights are a big deal.
RP is back up again, and smoke on smoke action. Who are they going to run into? They realize there might be somebody in this area.
I like Undyne's position here, just on the side. Wants the spot for heroes, kind of break smokes, that kind of a thing, and that's why they're positioning all their heroes like they are.
Nature's Prophet can TP into this one as well if they realize what's going on. And Kinguin, I don't know if they actually need to take this fight right now with Exorcism still down. It feels very risky.
All right, they see him now. Death Prophet's got to be careful. She's running into this one.
Doesn't quite latch there, and she's moving forward. Again, they don't have Exorcism. I don't know if they want to take this fight even with the Aegis.
I think it's okay just because their opponents, as long as they don't provide or present themselves in a way that gives them a good RP initiation, they can keep doing this, because by the time the fight does start, Exorcism might actually be up. Because with Aegis, it's scary for them. If DP is the only person showing and the supports are hiding very well, then it can be exploited here. But instead, they're going to try to maybe get a kill mid. Shadowblade's up on Morphling. Oh, he's got a Lincoln, so they've got to break it with Sprout. They've got to go Sprout Orchid, and then they don't have a disable follow-up. So they got to combo that with Chain. It's hard. Because then it's like Lich also has to be there. Because if they use Sprout to break the Lincolns, then they don't actually have a slow.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if it's Orchid Sprout, that's a dead hero every time. But good attempt at least. They do use Lich to rotate. That's wasted. But Exotic Deer now TP's bottom, and they can continue this push.
I do feel like, again, it's sort of a lot of the heroes of Kinguin on one side of the map, but as you mentioned, if they can get this tower, that makes it all worth it. And mid lane, Madara is still feeling comfortable farming out since he sees a couple of heroes mid. Top lane, Kaiser is also pushing this out. He has a Blink Dagger on top of Maelstrom, and the pressure will continue down bottom.
I feel like that's one hero that Ember has a lot of trouble with is Doom. It feels like every time there's a Doom in an Ember game, that guy gets doomed and he dies no matter what. Almost always is what it feels like. Maybe that's just because it was good players using Doom effectively, but it is hard to play Ember. And hard for him to commit to a fight here. And that's why BlinkPool is playing so carefully here, because they are worried about a little bit of a snowball coming from Kinguin playing well.
So the tower does go down. In the past couple of minutes, looks like net worth has stayed about even, with BlinkPool getting a little bit better of the experience lead because it's mainly just been Kinguin 5-manning. And they're actually set up towards the top lane, seeing if they can possibly find a pickoff. With Skeletons going out, scouting for the Doom, he will not be wrapped around upon easy.
For good reason. He has to worry about shackles into other setups. He's survivable, but not the most just yet. So spotting for those heroes is definitely useful, and they're all waiting. They've got Blink on Ember, so they can go in instantly when they get the... Here comes the shackle, probably, if they go in.
I still don't see anybody else on the enemy team, so maybe a little bit concerned about it. As mid lane,
Saw the creeps.
They do get the silence off after the ulti comes out, and that's going to be a dead Witch Doctor.
Kinguin is doing it, man. They're actually playing really good now. This looks solid. They're pressuring. They're getting things done. Nobody's sitting back and just hitting creeps. They're moving together as a team. I mean, last game looked rough, but this one is not bad. It's a cool strategy. They surprised me, at least, with the Lich. I assume it did something a little bit to BlinkPool as well. They didn't get a massive lane advantage out of it, but they pressured constantly. And look at Morph's net worth. It's not the same as their opponents.
Yeah, he was definitely hurt in the laning phase and needs to catch up now. Top lane, Misery is going to be going for a split push towards the tier 2 tower, but they have found one. Blink out barely.
Catch. That was sick. Blink Dagger paying off, and he's going to stay alive, but the pressure still does come, and it's making things hard. So they haven't really gotten profit from, no pun intended, profit from the Orchid yet, and they are still trading, so BlinkPool is doing a good job, but that's most of the outer towers, at least.
Yeah. Trading them out 1 for 1. The scary thing is Windranger is getting pretty farmed. That's the majority of this net worth difference. She's getting closer towards like a Maelstrom as the pings are there. They could find a Doom. Needs to be careful. The chase. It's not going to be there in time though. And
does not have a blink. But maybe Death Prophet will catch enough. Force Staff is going to make a difference. He's fast, but without a blink dagger or something, he can't get close quite quick enough. That's maybe one of the biggest weaknesses by far for Kinguin, is that as we've seen in movement after movement, it's hard to solidify and catch those heroes because they've got Shadowblade and they've got Orchid, but Linken's makes it hard, and all the other things that Ember has makes it difficult to secure those kills. Like if they had a blink on Lich or something, not that that's going to happen because he's been playing 5, but if he has a blink dagger or something, all of these become so much easier because you'd have some way to range disable your opponents, and they just don't have any of those.
Yeah.
Outside of Yules.
We saw the Aeon Disc picked up also for Nisha.
Mm-hmm.
So just the Phase Yules Aeon Disc.
I like it this game. It's actually so good if you think about it. Even the status resistance alone is fantastic. Right. RP, Shackle Shot, Witch Doctor Cask, whatever Morphling uses, Searing Chains, reduce the cooldown or reduce the duration of all that stuff. Not to mention the if he gets RP'd and screwed away from his allies again, screaming, that at least the Aeon Disc will buy him a little bit of time to stay alive.
Yeah. And they have like nice little bits of things here too, like the ice armor, giving extra armors for survivability. It makes a kind of big difference against the Windranger. Like the armor part of it's nice. Obviously the slow, they don't really care about that much. But yeah, we'll see how this works out for them. Kezu continuing to farm away. I mean, it's clear that BlinkPool aren't really that interested in trying to fight into the 5-man of Kinguin. Just dodging away whenever they get a chance.
Absolutely. That's because they understand what their opponent's lineup does, and that's what it does at team fights. Every single hero in this game on Kinguin's team is good at team fighting, with the exception maybe being Nisha's Prophet, because he's not quite as team fight focused, at least until he picks up a bunch of items. But everybody else really excels at team fighting.
Yeah. Witch Doctor level 11 with the 5 armor talent, and trying to get towards that 15 obviously. We're still 25 minutes in, 5,000 net worth lead. You can take a look at the way that it's been played the past couple of minutes, even though there's no kill. It feels like BlinkPool are kind of just getting a little bit more out of the map.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Kinguin maybe be a little bit more aggressive and possibly push for another tower. Roche is capable of respawning in 45 seconds, but if this lead keeps on growing like this, they might find themselves falling a little bit further behind.
Yeah. That's part of the issue right now, is that it is hard for them to find opportunities to get kills. Just because, or to get towers, that is. There aren't that many towers left for them. And if it's also hard for them to get kills then and stop the split push, then their opponents are just going to get more out of the map. And that's kind of what we're just seeing at this stage. The Blink Dagger on Doom can help, though. If they get a spot out, they can go for a Blink Doom kill, but still not easy for them to do that. They want their opponents to fight them. BlinkPool knows that. They know they have the weaker lineup, so they're just going to sit around, get more farm. Kaiser gets caught maybe? Yeah, he does get doomed. All right, he's in trouble.
Yeah, caught there for the moment, but they do have a little bit of help there. The Force Staff from the mag, saving the life for a moment. He is still in a ton of trouble, though, and it looks like he will fall. Meanwhile, though, Patos.
Oh, they got Soxa as well. Good little movements for Kinguin. That actually catches them up quite a bit in net worth. That's the one here that they could still grab.
Yeah.
At least until the Ember Spirit finishes Linken's, and he's still only about 1,000 gold away. So he was close. But that's a very crucial Doom kill. If he doesn't get that and the Linken's comes out, then everybody that's important to kill is very hard to grab. So good snake by Doom. He was TPing there already. The Ember Spirit ended up taking the creep wave. And if he doesn't TP like in the trees like he did, he won't get that one.
Right. Meanwhile, Kazu, they realize he's sitting on a ward and needs to back out now. It's kind of interesting watching this because, again, like that kill right there alone, 1,000 gold going into Patos. Now he's getting towards these tanky items. Has a Crimson Guard flying out on the Courier in a second on top of the Blink.
Dude, look at that Courier. That's a stacked Courier right now.
Oh my
full
God.
BKB. Got a Crimson. Oh, he's got a Hex right now? Holy crap. He's actually by far the most farmed hero on the map.
Yeah.
So now he's got 2 ways to break Linken's. And this is like really fun territory. I don't know if you've ever played Orchid and Hex against the Linken's hero, but it feels so good. I did it one game on a Clockwork. Don't ask why. It was weird. I was really far ahead.
Great.
But I went like Orchid Hex, and I was against an Ember. And he gets the Linken's, and I was just like, that's cool, man. break his Lincolns, do your other item, and then all of a sudden you're just constantly pressuring these guys. I feel safe, but with Lotus or Aether Lens, nah, that's not the word. Aeon Discs. When they get Aeon Discs, Hex is also going to stop that. So you could Hex them to start, attack them until they go low, Aeon Disc procs, then he silences afterwards. And then even if the Aeon Disc prevents damage for a second or so, it doesn't matter because they're still going to be silenced. It's like the pressure item. But this maneuver from BlinkPool might work. Are they going to realize they're in there, though, is the question.
They might.
Okay, now they see him. They're going to know for sure, because now they see Undyne on the low ground. Now this is really scary for Kinguin.
Oh, God, they've got RP available. The Aeon just procced on Nisha, too. He needs to get the hell out of here.
He's got to put the tomb somewhere to try to stop Blinks or something, but it's a weird fight. Yeah, in the pit is a good idea, because at least then they can't see it unless they have vision inside the pit. But look at this damage from Ember Spirit.
Oh, my God.
There's still so much time. They've got ice armor, but I can't even tell.
It's a Shadow-Bladed Kazu walking into the pit. He's looking for his opening right now. The zombies are chasing. He's seeing if he can find one. And
it's over. Exorcism is done.
Oh, God, the chase, the RP on the 3 pulls him back in, and they're all going to die.
It's over.
This is a huge problem to meet there onto Ember, though. Possibly able to turn this one. Madara switches back over into him, and honestly, with Exorcism wearing off, I don't know if they're going to have the damage left over. They took over the Tombstone. Jesus Christ, that was awful.
They just needed to commit hard. All right, I think the biggest mistake that was made probably was, I actually think Undyne needed to be in the Roche pit the whole time. Because he was the place he was standing. I mean, obviously they're not going to know that BlinkPool is wrapping around with an invis or with the smoke, and that was a super sick play by BlinkPool. But hypothetically, this is like kind of a coincidence thing. If Undyne happened to be in the pit, his smoke wouldn't have broken. They wouldn't have realized as early. That buys him another 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. Also, if he's in the pit, he uses his ultimate. You want to amplify that Death Prophet damage as much as you can. And if he's in there and his ultimate's active, that's 25% more damage from Exorcism.
Roche would have been dead.
Roche dies.
Yeah.
Even with the circumstances as the way they were. But it would have been a little bit better if he was in the pit. And yes, he's not going to have his ulti during the actual team fight, but by far the most important thing there, when you're going for literally a smoke into Roche when the game's semi-even, is to kill that shit as fast as possible. You do not want this fight to happen. And the fact that it did work out like that for BlinkPool is not super surprising considering the circumstances.
The Aeon Disc coming out there also, like right as this was going on, the like little poking and prodding, they knew that they had time.
The power shot, the slight chains, it was made the fight hard.
Cask bouncing again, and there is a ward up there. Solo ulti goes over to the Ancients. Not sure if it's going to be good enough, though. Exotic Deer up on the high ground. He gets silenced and rooted. He's going down. He had a Hex. He had everything, but they can't make it happen. Godlike misery out of the support position. Eat your heart out.
He has actually been extreme owning this game. He's going to chase. He wants to get the setup here, but it's hard. The direction he's running is quick.
Oh, missed the chains there. Nisha in the trees. Just hide away.
BKB still.
Shackle doesn't land.
All right, now wants to fight. It's time.
Kazu has RP, though. If they want to, they can run, and Kazu taking some damage. He has skewer. Oh, interruption. Nice play. Nisha, my God! The damage comes through. Double kill by Madara.
That was insane. That was in power damage, basically. I don't even think they have minus armor. He just hits for like 300 all of a sudden. And the way that Death Prophet's itemized, it's all like team fight items. Status resistance reduction, Yules in case you're in trouble, and a BKB. And when his BKB is active, he can't Yules himself. He just instantly gets blown up when Madara goes in. It looked like a cool fight, though. I mean, they did pick off the Meg pre-RP, but they weren't ready for the damage on Morphling.
Yeah, and this Misery is no longer a support. He's almost got gold for Aghanims. The Hex comes out there. The turnaround, though, the root, it comes out. Kaiser has eyes already onto this Exotic Deer.
Another chain, but it's a whole creep wave here, and it's going to bounce again.
Oh, man. That is rough. As they take over the Undyne yet again. Madara does burn through the Aegis, but the zombies are there from the Tombstone, and well, that's Katsor done as well. This is potentially going to be a full lane of Rax, and maybe even a little bit more, to be honest.
Just feels a little bit weird to me that they went for a smoke and a Roche. I mean, go take a fight. I know it's hard. Your opponents are probably not going to engage you, and it was a little bit maybe unexpected that their opponents were so on the ball, but they probably kept track of Roche timer. They knew Roche was coming up. They knew Kinguin might try something again, and minimum Kinguin was going to look for a kill first to try to make a fight.
Right.
And it was just simply BlinkPool was like a step ahead minimum of how to take control of Roche. So if Kinguin had better movement in that Roche fight, it's all fine. They just take an even fight maybe. Maybe they get a kill first, but this was just... They doom the Morphling. He's going to be running away. They're going to try to follow up, but this is extremely unlikely.
He has 3,600 HP right now, and not really that afraid.
It's very strong.
Jeez, that, and again, like, it does definitely feel like, all right, Kinguin threw away that advantage by taking that Roche fight, but even before then, it was a pretty substantial lead. I feel like BlinkPool's map resource management is just a little bit stronger.
Yes, that's without a doubt true. At the very least, they just feel unconfident. I don't know, is what it feels like. Like, maybe they felt like, oh, we sniped the first Roche, this will be fine. We'll get the second one too, but... Or maybe it felt like, oh, we don't feel like we can take a fight on them. Maybe we should just try to snipe it again before they realize, kind of a thing. But both of those things are kind of... Those are like, I hate doing that in pubs.
Right.
Because it just feels so much better. Guys, smoke, get one kill, and then we take Roche. They're not going to contest us. They have one dead hero, you know? That's usually what happens. But they didn't even try. They had items for it, too. They had Blink on Doom. They had Doom ready. Like, they've got BKBs, and they've got the right items. It's just their play didn't quite line up with that.
Well, 33 minutes, and now it's 22,000 net worth lead. This is feeling about as bad as it gets, and we do have the top lane of barracks available, as well as the tier 2 tower down here bottom. They're going to try and cut some creeps, maybe with exotic deer. Doesn't have the best build for it in the world. It's been kind of this fighting thing, and well, he does head off to the side here, so we'll be able to cut through the creeps.
And BlinkPool's game at this point is just really straightforward. They've completely ballooned from like a 3K advantage for that Roche fight to a 22K one at 35 minutes. Their heroes are better at split pushing. They've got a godlike support Wind Ranger who's almost got a Maelstrom finished with an Eggs. And Empower alone. Empower range heroes, man. Apparently it's good.
I mean, yeah. When it's giving it based upon your base damage and you have a Morphling, why not? Like, look at that. He just gets 120 extra damage roughly.
They do some disable on Wind Ranger here, but...
Well, they don't have a creep wave, but their creeps there going mid. So maybe they'll just take out the shrines. They don't want to throw away this advantage. It's been a long day of Dota for them. And again, looking like it might end soon. The dream from Kinguin.
I'm a little surprised they're not forcing it, I guess, but... Did they lose? Do they still have the Aegis?
They don't have the
They
Aegis.
don't. Okay, so I guess wait for a kill, play it safe, close it out. Don't mess around. They're already up one game.
Yeah.
They're practically up a second game here. There's no reason to throw this. Their opponents have good team fight. Get a pick off, then go high ground. Same like last game. Get that one pick off, maybe get a second sloppy pick off, and then the game's over.
I honestly would not mind solo RPs at this point at all.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They do have... Well, they actually don't have buyback on Prophet quite yet. He's going to be fishing for the mag, though. They'll find the Morphling instead. They could get this kill, perhaps. Yeah, Doom's here as well. They just have to get the disable off. It's got to be an Orchid, and it's got to be Hex. Oh, they're not going to spot him. So close. Once people get into the trees, man, it's hard to know exactly where they are. It's a gambit.
Kezu has almost got a refresher on the mag, which is kind of ridiculous.
RP duration 3.75 AoE right now. That duration has gone up over time. That seems huge. I think it used to be like a 2 second kind of a thing, level 1, but
yeah. Well, and he can get the +1 second if he wants. I think the empowered damage in Cleave is better though. With the heroes they've got so much damage.
I mean the Cleave is great on Ember, obviously. The damage is great on Morphling. The damage is really good on Wind Ranger too. It's like an extra. She currently gets 60 damage, which works during Axe with her Axe.
10, 1, and 15. Kind of insane how much this Wind Ranger has gotten out of the map. And again, like as far as comparisons go, it would be in comparison to the Undying, I guess, who's kind of positioned for, or would it be the Lich? Like these heroes just don't feel like they scale into the late game like you need heroes to nowadays.
They don't scale great, that's for sure. Misery just solo killed. That's a support, solo killing a tower. I'm not the biggest fan of the Lich's playstyle, this support sacrificial thing. Like, I do get that I'm a greedy player, so maybe that's just me speaking in that way, but I do feel like he should buy more items. Like, he's repeatedly dropping sentries, basically. He's like, oh, I have 100 gold, buy a sentry, place a sentry. Oh, I have 100 gold, buy a sentry, place a sentry. He's got sentries everywhere, and yes, maybe he's going to catch a ward that could prevent a vision advantage that helps him win a fight or something, but I just, at the same vein, he also gets E-Blade one-shot every single time that somebody tries.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like that for the rest of the game. And that's also not a good thing to have, I feel like. He's never going to get more than 1 Frost Blast and 1 Chain Frost. And he doesn't have the ability to even land a good Chain Frost because he has to take whatever he can get. So I wish he would buy more items sometimes. I'm sure that I don't think it's going to make much of a difference here, but
yeah, I'm with you.
I want some more scaling, that's all.
We do have Force Staff as well as Blink on the RP vehicle, the mag. Does have Refresher done as well.
So gets
forward.
Right, they're going to Doom him.
They got the Doom. RP onto 2, pulls him back in. They have the Refresher if they want to use it, but they can also just beat down into Patos and silence for the moment. The mag doesn't actually quite have the mana pool to make this all work, although he will have mana boots and thinking about going back in. Never mind, Kaiser just taking them down. And even though he's muted, Madara walks in. Nisha's done. That's a double kill. There are not a ton of buybacks, and it might finally be GG.
Yeah, there it is.
And that's the end of Kinguin for the qualifiers.
Everybody goes down. Kinguin definitely looking like a decent team. They got through group stage, but they had some problems. I mean, they had to play OG first. Don't blame them for going 0-2 there. And BlinkPool is not a bad team either, but I saw some good things this game. I was definitely more impressed for sure. But I think they needed to win the lanes just a little bit harder, and they needed to be a little bit better at ganking their opponents. And maybe having lack of stuns made this all really hard. Like Misery had a free game, you know. They had no disable outside of Yule Scepter on Death Prophet. Maybe they should have gone like Blink on Death Prophet. I don't know if that's crazy or not, but I feel like that would have been okay considering what she's up against.
Yeah.
It's a Morphling and an Ember Spirit. Like Blink silencing or Blink Yules into silence or something would have been useful on all these guys. Maybe she should have been the one to set up for Doom. Maybe Doom's Blink came way too late. Maybe I don't.
There's a lot of maybes in there, isn't there?
It just felt like they, just generally across the game, it felt like they had trouble catching heroes.
Yeah.
Once they had some lane advantage, they killed a bunch of towers, but then they just had trouble grabbing people, and certainly hurts to have Lich Undyne in that way, and then you need your cores to make up for it. Aeon just did not feel good this game. It was almost never used. Like they would do Sleight of Chains, Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, and they do Power Shot, gone every time. That's always how they dealt with it, from range, extremely easily. That was a cool way to deal with it.
Yeah, it really feels like there's a reason that some of these heroes are picked because of the ability to catch, because of their ability to like sort of poke and prod at heroes from far away, and you know, it works out for them. I think that there's a lot of reasons why Lich isn't picked in the first phase. Again, I don't blame
the Lich too much. I feel very bad for being way too hard about the Lich pick. It was not throwy.
Okay.
It was just, it's very unexpected to see like this much meta and to watch meta for like 7 days, and then all of a sudden you're like, a team is down, they're about to be eliminated, and they Lich first pick. That just looks shocking because I haven't seen a single Lich. I haven't seen a single Lich ban, and all of a sudden it's like, there's a Lich. What the hell is going on? When they just played passive is what bothered me especially, because they just played so passive in game 1. But the way they used it was semi-okay. They just harassed the crap out of the Morphling to prevent him from farming. He did not get a lot of last hits in the laning stage. They didn't also sacrifice that many creeps. It was more of like a constant bully lane. It's like the lane had... I saw what they were trying to do with it. It was kind of cool. It's just it didn't work. And Undyne and Lich, they basically had 2 5s by the end of the game. I don't know.
I think it's pretty telling that Misery almost did more damage than any member of the enemy team.
He could do literally whatever he wanted that game. They had no way to stop him from a range of more than like 300. That's what it felt like.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us, and that's going to do it for Kinguin. They're eliminated from the qualifiers. We are going to have BlinkPool facing off against Wind and Rain, a rematch of the match that we saw earlier today, and then the winner of that going to face off against OG. Thank you so much, Purge. Pleasure as always.
No problem. And that was a 2-1 last time they played, so we might have a really good series again.
Absolutely. And that's going to do it for us. We're going to hop off the stream. Go check out NA, which is continuing on downstairs, or on BTS1 for you folks. I guess it's a little bit different since we're in the house. But yeah, it's going to be a BTS1. See you guys next time. Adios.